the topic, the pursuit of life. Everybody, please join us in welcoming onto the stage Mr. Yee Jia.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. Today, I would like to talk to you about the pursuit of life while cycling around the world. Imagine this. You are pushing this tandem bike up this hill. The bike is over 50 kilos. Your legs are tired. Your body is screaming in pain. But all you can hear is the wind howling through your ears. Every part of you wants to stop, but you just have to keep going. You've been on the road for days, weeks, months, and in my case, more than a year now. Hi guys, my name is Yee Jia, and for the past 2 years, the world has been my home. My partner, Gracia, and I have been traveling all around the world. We've done all 48 states in continental America before cycling all the way back home from London to Singapore on our trusty tandem bike. We've covered more than 25 different countries, more than 20,000 kilometers all the way back home. We've been through some really tough times. We've encountered the police, we've encountered some war zones, but all in all, what we took out of it was that the pursuit of life is so different than living life itself. That idea is what I want to share with you today, so that you don't have to spend the next 2 years of your life cycling around the world. The pursuit of life isn't about taking a nice fancy photo at the end of your journey. The pursuit of life is about embracing every single challenge along the way, every broken tire, every unexpected challenge, and every hill you might encounter. For us, our biggest challenge was our budget. For the last 2 years, we survived on a $500 per month budget. That includes your food, your transport, your accommodation, and everything else in between, all in $500. I guarantee you there will be no hotels along the way. For us, for accommodation, what we had to do was something called couch surfing. How many of you guys here know what couch surfing is? I see some hands, but not many. But couch surfing is basically this idea where you get to sleep with strangers all around the world. They open their doors and let you sleep in their houses for free. It sounds a little creepy, but I guarantee you guys, you'll have a great time. We went to every single place all around the world and we stayed with many strangers. They wanted to hear your story and they want to share their story as well. You cook with them, you stay with them, and you stay the night for free. If we couldn't find a couch surfing host, we would resort to something called wild camping. Now, it's a really exciting thing that you have to do. You would run into the bushes wherever you are around the world and just camp for the night and just pray you don't get caught. You would pitch a tent, take out your sleeping bag, whether that be a forest in Germany, an abandoned building in Pakistan, even just a big farm that no one's there. You take out your tent, you make your food for the night, and just sleep. And you just have to enjoy that part of the journey. On the topic of food though, trust me, you won't be eating at any nice fancy restaurants. You'll be eating bread along the way. In China, you'll be eating mantou. That was the cheapest thing that you could find. Or you have a little stove where you can make your own tiny meals. One thing that you also have to learn is how to repair your own bicycle. So along the way, while repairing your own bicycle, people might invite you over and you have a meal with them. You will have some food, people might cook for you, and you have to repair your bicycle everywhere you go along the way. One thing that we couldn't get used to was showering once every 4 days. Now trust me, it's not a nice feeling showering once every 4 days. And even though we were smelly, I promise you girls in the room, we are not as smelly as the boys in your class. But I still felt more alive than ever before. I felt that when I started my journey, I didn't really know what I wanted. Maybe it was a different perspective. Maybe I was in pursuit of something specific. Or maybe I just wanted to see the world. But I thought back to my earlier childhood days. I remember reading different adventure books, people cycling around the world, people rowing around the world, people sailing across oceans. And so what I think I really wanted was an adventure I could call my own. I wanted to come home smarter and wiser than before. So I remember all these books, but what these books never ever tell you is the day that they actually got home. They always tell you about how beautiful their journey was and how smart and strong they became, but they never tell you about the day that they got home. And so today, I'm going to share with you a little bit about the day that I got home. It was a hot sunny day in Singapore, and everything was just as per usual. Singapore was exactly like we left it. Over 700 days of being on the road, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. We came back to Woodlands, and it was exactly the same. I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe I was expecting someone to say, hey, good job, man, you cycled around the world. Or maybe I was expecting a nice welcome home party. But I just remember everyone else in the crowd was just heading to work. Singapore was exactly like we left it. The city was the same. The guard just waved us through very nonchalantly. And I just went home. My room was the same. My wardrobe was the same. And I was a little bit frustrated at myself. Did I even change? Everything else in Singapore didn't change. I remember at that point going for a shower and picking up my towel and my shirt to go for a shower. And it was at that moment that actually sparked an insight within me that change doesn't come at the end of your journey, change comes along the way. That's why it's important to embrace challenges along the way. I remember very vividly picking up the handkerchief that I used to wipe my feet, scrub my body all around the world. Instead of that nice white fluffy towel, I chose that little handkerchief that I traveled around the world with. I have already changed. I remember taking my old raggy shirt full of holes, and I remember using that shirt instead of my clean wardrobe that I once used to love so very much. I think that's just very similar to the process in life that you will go through. At the end of the day, it's not a specific homecoming, nor is it your certificate that you get when you graduate, nor is it your college degree. It's about the things that you learn along the way, the classes that you took, the late nights that you studied for, the friends that you made along the way, the activities that you do. Those things actually shape you to become a better person and not the actual certificate itself. So I thought back to all the tough moments that we had along the way. As we were cycling around the world, we conquered so many different mountains, the Balkan Mountains in Europe, to the tall mountains in Chongqing, to the Gobi Desert in China. But the hardest one for us was the Karakoram Highway in Pakistan. I remember seeing the K2, the second largest mountain in the world. It was so cold, the hill was so steep, and it was exactly like the moment that I described to you earlier. Not only that, in Pakistan, while the food is very delicious, it gives you a little bit of the runs, and honestly, it wasn't the best experience for an athlete like myself, but we still managed to push all the way through. Despite all the physical challenges that we faced, the bad weather, the steep hills, I think, honestly, the hardest challenge for us was the internal struggle every single day. The internal struggle and fight to not put my bicycle on the next bus, even though no one would know. The struggle to keep pushing your bicycle up the hill. That struggle made us not just better cyclists, but better individuals. I want to let you know that your struggles are worth it. As you climb up these beautiful hills, you will be rewarded at the end of the day with a beautiful view, maybe a nice curry, and definitely a long, nice cruise all the way back downhill. Beyond all the beautiful things that we saw along the way, the one thing that I remember the most was the people that we met along the way. Throughout the world, more than 80% of them don't really speak English. You have to use broken Duolingo that you learned, broken sign language, Google Translate, but we never ever failed to make friends along the way. This was in Turkey, but anywhere else, even in Iran, where people say that bad things about the country, you will never ever fail to find friends. And I just want to share with you this story that I'll always remember for the rest of my life. I remember cycling through rural Turkey, this place called Edirne. It was desolate. There was really nothing there at all. There were only a couple of buildings around me, not even a bus stop. And it started to rain cats and dogs. We were getting so desperate, we needed somewhere to go to hide out from the rain. But there was not even a bus shelter in sight. We were getting so desperate. And I remember just out of nowhere, a guy opened his window, ran out to his balcony, and started gesturing at us. He couldn't say the word come in because we didn't understand Turkish, but I'm sure he was asking us to go in. So instead of getting drenched, we decided to go into this house, and we started chatting. He immediately gave us a fresh set of clothes. He took our clothes, he gave it a wash. He put us into a dry room, we got warm. He even gave us a shower and started cooking us some food. After that, we began chatting, and he started telling us about his life. This was Mehmet. Mehmet, he was just a garment factory worker, and he survives on $3 a day. He was supporting his family, his mom, his 2 kids, and his wife, just on his $3 a day income. But yet, he was so kind and so generous to us. He even forced us to eat a nice, beautiful meal that he prepared for us with his own 2 hands. I remember this day all the way until today, because it reminds me that you don't have to be rich, you don't have to know the language of another person. The kindness in humanity transcends borders and cultures. I want to leave you with this. Whatever journey that you might be on, whatever pursuit that you might follow, whatever adventure that you might want to partake in, don't rush to the end. Remember to enjoy the journey, embrace the challenges along the way, learn from them, make friends along the way. You will remember those moments. Thank you. The best is yet to be.